Hi, this is David with David's Tutorials, and today I'm going to tell you how to avoid sunburn and why you should. Before we get into it, you can probably tell I'm doing things a little bit differently today. I thought I'd come outside and get some exercise, some steps. At the same time, I'm sharing this tutorial with you. We're going to talk about sunshine and vitamin D and sunburn. First of all, it's a good idea to get sunshine as much as you can. Don't get too much of it. If you get too much of it, you will get burned. Now, sunburn is caused by UVA and UVB, and that happens when you get a lot more sun than your skin can take, and it gets burned. The bad thing about sunshine, of course, is that you can get sunburn, and the good thing about sunshine is that you will get vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is one of the most essential vitamins, which is really a steroid hormone that you can get into your system. It does amazing things. That's not a topic for this particular video, and if you'd like a video on vitamin D, let me know that, and I'll be happy to make one. But vitamin D is something you need a lot of, and you can get it, of course, through supplementation, and if you're not an outdoor worker, then you probably should. Or if you have darker skin, you probably should. Now, the darker skin, it just means you have more melanin in your skin, and your skin is not as able to produce vitamin D as the lighter skinned people. This is not a racial thing. This is just a biological thing. Now, everybody needs vitamin D, and problem is when you try to go outside and get vitamin D, if your skin is not ready for it, it will cause you to get sunburn. And that's the topic of this video, is sunburn. Now, when I was back in college, one of the things I did was I loved to go water skiing. As a matter of fact, I wound up being the treasurer of the college ski club, and curiously, never did anything for that. I tried to keep checking into what's going on with this, and nobody could tell me, so I had the office and never did a single thing for it. But I loved water skiing, and my parents had a boat, and they never used it. And so one weekend I came home from college, and I just happened to have a trailer hitch on the back of the car, and so I hooked up the boat and I took it back to college over the summer. And about 6 or 7 weeks later, I got a call from my dad, and he said, "David, did you borrow our boat?" And I said, "Well, sure, I thought I told you about that." Okay, well, that may be the case, but I did borrow the boat over the summer, and I went water skiing a lot that summer, me and a lot of my friends. It was only about a 15-foot long boat, and it had a 40 horsepower Johnson outboard motor on it, so it really wasn't all that powerful, but it was good enough to pull one water skier. If you tried to pull two, it got a little bit bogged down, but needless to say, while I was out doing all this water skiing, I got a little bit of sun, and I got some sunburn. And I got sunburned so bad one time that the skin was peeling off in sheets. If you've ever had a bad sunburn, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, then I pray you never get a sunburn that bad. It was not a pleasant thing. And for about a week, hello dog, he's up there just saying good morning. So I got this bad sunburn, and I didn't want to ever get it again. And back when this was happening, they did not have various SPF sun protectors, and so I did not have like SPF 3000 to put on my skin to keep from getting that bad sunburn. They did have copper tone. Copper tone was all we had in the way of skin protection, and I used that. And I heard somebody say that sunburn is not caused by the sun. The ultraviolet rays, they get in there and they do something to the subdermal layer of your skin, and it causes it to secrete an alkali, and the alkali is what causes a sunburn. Well, I didn't know whether that was true or not, so I decided to do some research. Even at this time, I knew that an acid plus an alkali yields a salt. So I took the mildest acid that I could think of that had no flavor or very little flavor, which happened to be tea. You know, tea has a lot of tannic acid in it, and if you get even strong tea, it's got a tea flavor, but you can tell if there's any salt. So I had a sunburn, and I took some of this iced tea and I put it on my arm where I had the sunburn, and I let it sit for a few minutes, and then I tasted it. And surely enough, it tasted salty. So I said, well, maybe that just came from the salt and the sweat. So I tasted the other arm, which was also sunburned, and it was far less salty. So then I put the iced tea on the other arm and I tasted it again, and it was salt. Well, that tells me that yes, we had a chemical reaction going on here. We had the alkali from the skin reacting with the tannic acid in the iced tea, and that was producing a salt. So I decided that the next time I got a sunburn, I was going to try putting iced tea on it. Now, I don't want it to be iced tea, so it would be room temperature tea. So there came a Saturday and we were going to go out and we were going to be water skiing all day, and I just couldn't see how I could avoid a sunburn. So I put together a great big old, I think a half a gallon, maybe a gallon of tea with a bunch of tea bags, and I just let it steep for a long time and get really strong, because you know, even strong tea is not going to hurt you if you put it on your skin, but it's going to be strong with that tannic acid in it. So we did our water skiing all day long, and of course I got a sunburn. Now this sunburn was just as bad as the one I had before that had me peeling my skin off in sheets. And so I was really kind of scared of this. So I just got a paper towel and I folded it into about a 3-inch square pad, and I dipped it in this room temperature tea and I blotted it on the sunburn. And I did this probably from, I'm going to say from 7 o'clock in the evening till well after midnight. I'd do it on one arm, and then I'd do it on the other arm, and then I'd do it on my back, and then I'd do it on the top of my thighs. Every place that I knew I had gotten a sunburn, but it hadn't quite developed yet. And by the time I finished that cycle, the first place that I had applied it had dried, so I could start it all over again. And I did this for a long time. And you know what? That skin never even blistered, much less peeled. Now, I didn't know whether, well, maybe the sunburn wasn't that bad. So about 2-3 weeks later, I got another sunburn, and the first one had healed up really nicely by this time. So I got that tea ready to go again and did it one more time. And that time also, the skin never blistered and it never peeled. Now, I cannot promise or guarantee that the same thing is going to happen for you. I'm just sharing with you the experience that I had, and hopefully if you ever get a sunburn and you don't want to blister or peel, this same thing is going to happen for you. I just realized that I neglected to tell everybody why you should avoid sunburn. The main reason to avoid sunburn is skin cancer. It's not exposure to sun that gives you skin cancer, it's overexposure to sun when you're not ready for it. I just read an article this morning that showed scientific studies that prove office workers who work inside all day and then go outside on the weekend and they get sunburned have many more cases of malignant melanoma than people who work outdoors all day. So if sun caused skin cancer, the people who work outdoors all day would logically get more cases of it. But it's office workers who get more cases of malignant melanoma than the outdoor workers. So this is why we need to avoid getting sunburned. Please let me know down in the comments down below if you try this, and if you do, how it works. Or if you've tried it in the past, tell me how it works down there in the comments so that everybody else viewing this video can read your comments and see what you found when you tried it. If you thought this video was helpful at all, or even interesting, give me a thumbs up, please. That'll let me know that you enjoyed it. That will let the YouTube robots know that you thought it was a useful video. And of course, leave us a comment, share it with anybody you know that might be going to get a sunburn someday. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and then the bell icon to be notified whenever we post another great tutorial here on David's Tutorials.